What's up guys, welcome to your 7th HTML and CSS crash course. In this tutorial we're going to be talking about CSS gradients. We're going to be learning how to use CSS gradients. In the previous tutorial we talked about ways of importing your CSS. We talked about the inline method, the inline CSS rather, the internal CSS and external CSS. Now we're going to be using the external CSS from now on because it's more professional and it makes your workspace more presentable. Now if you don't know how to import your CSS properly, if you don't know how I did this, well, all I did was type in the link tag and our CSS file is in our CSS folder. So you can see it over here, the CSS file, which is style.css, is in this CSS folder. So I'm telling the browser, go to my CSS folder and grab style.css. So that's how we got this. Now I'm just going to get rid of this from the previous tutorial and I'm going to create a div. Save this, and now we're going to go to the CSS and let's go to the HTML and give this div a class. I'll say first div. Save this and go to your CSS and grab this, say first div. Now we're going to style this. We're going to give it a background color of aqua, and we're going to give this a width of 200 pixels, also a height of 200 pixels. Save this and let's check with our live server. So right click and open with live server. So this is the div. You can see the width and height like a square. It is a square rather. So the next thing we're going to do is to add a border. So go over here and say border, and we're just going to make this 5 pixels solid black. Black is also, let's be using the hexadecimal colors. So black is at 000. So go back to your browser. You can see the border around the div. Nice thick border. Now let's check some more properties. Let's give this let's check it again. Now next thing I want to do is to give this a border radius. I want this to be bent a bit, the edges will be bent, so let's do that using the border radius. So say border radius, let's say 10 pixels. So go back to your browser and you can see it's bent a bit. Now if you want to make it a circle, all you need to do is type in 50%. So now it's going to assume 50% of the width and the height. So you must make sure the height and width are the same thing if you want to obtain a circle. So go back to your browser and you should see you have a circle. So we're just going to make this 10 pixels. Okay, so now next property we're going to talk about is let's give this a margin of 10 pixels. So this would move it a bit. Okay, so let's go back to our index.html and duplicate this tag. So we're going to name this class second div. Now go back to your CSS, copy this tag. Oh no, let's start from scratch. So say second div. I'm going to make this background color of, let's say, red, and this is going to have a width of 200 pixels, height also of 200 pixels, and we're going to add a border of, let's say, 5 pixels solid black, and we're also going to add a margin to this 10 pixels. So go back and check your browser. So you should see the second div. So now we want to move this div. You can see in the previous tutorial we talked about inline and block elements. So you can see this div is a block element, and I told you that when you want to make a block element inline, you do that using your CSS. So let's go to our CSS, and we're going to give this div one, the first div, we're going to give it a float. This float property enables the block element to become inline. So we're going to make this float left, and come here also we're going to make this float left. So say float left. So go back and you should see they are side by side like an inline element. So the next thing we're going to touch is the border radius. So we talked about border radius here. Let's go to the browser, and that function was applied to all the edges of the border. So what if we want to target a specific edge? Let's say I want to target this edge or this edge to make like a unique design. So let's do that. So go back here and say border radius, border top left radius. Let's give this 50 pixels and go back to your browser and check it out. Okay, so you can see this particular border was bent a bit, 50 pixels. So let's say you want to target another side. So border top right radius, and we're going to give this property of 50 pixels also. Okay, so you can see it has like a bent shape around here. This is a really nice CSS shape. Okay, next one target is border radius, border bottom left radius, and we want to make this 50 pixels also. Okay, so this can be used as a really nice testimonial card for your website or web application. This is a really nice template. Just add your text into it and style, or you can even add transitions and animations. So let's create a new div. So go back here, div, I want to create a class. Let's call this third div. Go back to your style.css and grab this, say third div. Now we're going to be talking about linear gradient. So let's hang on for now. Okay, you can get this. Let's copy this style component. Oh wait, hold on a bit. Let's style this first. So we're going to be talking about gradient. So we want to make this a gradient color. So we simply do that by saying get rid of this background color. So we say background linear gradient. This is the first type of gradients you have in CSS. So linear gradient. So in this function we're going to say to left. I want to grab the aqua. We're going to make use of two colors, aqua, let's say light green, and let's say which color goes with aqua? Let's say that's not color. Let's say violet. Save this and let's go to the browser and check it out. Okay, so you can see the gradients over here. This is the aqua, the light green, and the violet color. So that's one way to do it. So you can see it's moving to the left. So from the left you have the aqua, sorry, you have the violet, you have the aqua first, then the light green, then the violet. So it's moving to the left. So okay, let's go here. So get rid of this background color. Just going to say background, linear gradient. So we want to get to top left. So it's moving to the top, from the bottom to the top. So let's say aqua, light, okay, sky blue, and let's say green. Okay, you can select your color from over here. So I'm going for a light shade of green. Okay, so it's moving from the bottom to the top. So to the top goes like this. You have the aqua, the sky blue, and the green color. So let's create a new div. Okay, we've created a new div. Now let's style this div 3. So we're just going to copy the style component from over here, copy and paste over here. Okay, so we're going to use the degree now. So let's get rid of this, and we're going to say one, or why don't I just start from the beginning? So say background, linear gradient, 150 degree. So we're going to grab let's say green, light green, and aqua. So save this and go back to your browser. Okay, so 150 degrees, moving at an angle of 150 degrees. So you have the green, light green, and the aqua color. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is radial gradients. So let's get rid of this background and create a radial gradient. So let's say back. Okay, now let's create a new div. Go back here and create a new div and give this a class of 4th div. Save. Now so grab the 4th div and you're going to paste these styles, copy and paste it over here. So say background radial gradient. So this is a bit complicated, so listen attentively. So the first color we want to select is aqua. Now this aqua, we want this aqua to occupy 5% of the total width. Now the next color we're going to select is light green, or let's say sky blue. and we want this to occupy 40% of the total width. Lastly, we're going to say navy blue. Okay, it's not color here. And we want this to be 100% of the total width. So save this and check your browser. So you can see over here, let me change the color of sky blue. Let's change it to this color. Okay, save, go back to your browser. So you can see, oh, it's not so obvious. So let's set this to a lighter shade. This should be a bit light, okay, and this also should be dark. So save this and check your browser. Okay, so you have the aqua occupying 5%, the light blue occupying 40%, and you have the total background color being blue. So that's how you use radial gradients and linear gradients. So let's go over this one more time before call it a day. So say radial gradient. So let's say green. We want this green color to occupy 5% of the total width of this div. Okay, 5%. Now the next thing we want to grab is light green. Now we want this light green to occupy 50% of the total width of what? Of this div. Now the last one we're going to grab is light blue, which should occupy 100% of the total width. Now go back to your browser and check. Okay, so you have this occupying 5%, this occupying 50%, and this color occupying 100% of the total width. So that's how you use CSS background gradients, and that's how you use CSS border. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did enjoy this tutorial, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, share this video. Let's get to as many people as we can get to. Please, I really appreciate your help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.